Hi, welcome back to Barefoot Farm. If you're new, I'm Brittany, and today we're going to be making some freezer Mexican burritos. My husband always loves to have burritos on hand in the freezer for lunches or quick dinner or something like that. And instead of getting them from the store made with ingredients that you aren't really sure about, that there's 100 different ingredients and half of the time you can't even pronounce them, you don't know what they are. We prefer to make them from scratch. I use my homemade flour tortilla recipe for the tortillas, and then I usually use some, our favorite refried beans. A lot of times it's out of a can, they're not always fresh. And then we'll do some kind of, hamburger meat or something like that, and bean and cheese, beef and bean with green chilies and cheese. So if you're interested in making them and learning how to do them for yourself and you stock your freezer, then I hope you join us. So to get started, I'm gonna put some oil in a heated cast iron pan, and I'm gonna fry up a few, this is about a pound of ground chuck that I got on sale at the grocery store. I like to get these when they go on sale so I can have them in the freezer. We had these in the vacuum seal bag. So it comes in handy for things like this when you need hamburger meat in a pinch. So we're gonna let these thaw and fry up in this pan. And then in a little bit, we'll start breaking up the meat and add some chopped up onion. So the ground beef has had a few minutes to start thawing out. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my chopped onion. We've got about a cup or so of diced onion here. If you don't have any fresh onion, you can most certainly add some dehydrated onion or even onion powder. I'm also gonna add some spices. Have garlic powder, maybe a teaspoon or so. A little ground cumin, probably about a half teaspoon. You don't want to go too heavy with it. And then a little bit of beef bouillon powder, also about a teaspoon or so. And then some salt and pepper to taste. Now, if you want, you can use a taco seasoning packet. For these burritos, my husband doesn't really care for the flavor of the taco seasoning packet. He likes the more, just kind of like similar to the taco meat you would get in like a Tex-Mex restaurant. Use whatever you like. If you just want to do some salt and pepper and onion, just make it to whatever your family prefers. So while this is doing its thing and browning up, I have my griddle here next to on the stove, and I'm going to go ahead and start warming up some tortillas that I made just a few days ago that I've been storing in the refrigerator. I'm going to warm those up because I want them to be nice and pliable, so they'll be easy to roll the burritos. So we'll let that go and we'll warm up our tortillas. When I made these tortillas the other day, I did a double batch because I wanted to make one batch for us to have for tacos one night. But the other batch, I knew I was specifically making them for these burritos, so I wanted them to be a little bit larger than what we would use for tacos. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these warmed up. It only takes a few seconds on each side, and they'll be nice and soft and pliable and make it easier for rolling up these burritos. So I finished warming all of my tortillas, And now the ground beef is pretty much done. I'm gonna let it sit in this cast iron pan. But another thing I'm gonna add, because my husband, you know, he used to like the beef with green chili burritos that they had in the freezer section at the store. I'm gonna be adding a can of these diced green chilies. So I'm just gonna, it's a 4-ounce can. So I'm gonna dump that in there. Get this all out. And dump that in there and stir it up. Get it well combined. And then that and some beans and some cheese will be the filling for half of the burritos that I'm making today. The other half will just be bean and cheese. So while the meat mixture is cooling off, I'm gonna go ahead and work on the bean and cheese burritos. I originally had made 8 large tortillas, and it looks like somebody got into them, and I only had 6. So we're just gonna make it work. So I'm gonna start off using a couple of the smaller tortillas for the bean, because it's just bean and cheese. So what I have here is a can of refried beans. We like things spicy around here, so this one is refried beans with jalapeno. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a layer on the burrito. All right. And then whatever shredded cheese you have, I have a couple of different kinds. One's Monterey Jack and cheddar, and this one is a Mexican blend. So I'm just gonna get that on here. There we go. And then I have a piece of saran wrap here, because after I'm done rolling it, I'm gonna roll it up in the saran wrap, and then it'll be stored in a Ziploc bag in the freezer. So I'm just gonna roll this up, and this one's gonna be super tiny, but my husband will just have to deal with it since he apparently decided to eat the large tortillas. So there we go. We're just gonna roll it up in there. Keep on rolling. All right, and then we'll set it to the side and just continue the process. So, and you know, you can make these and you don't have to, certainly don't have to make your own tortillas. I mean, I know a lot of people are probably not gonna do that. But you know, buy your favorite tortillas at the grocery store and do this, because in the long run, it's gonna be a heck of a lot cheaper than buying them. And like I said before, you get to control the ingredients that, you know, that you're eating, you're putting in your body. And so it just makes things better. And it can save a few bucks too. And we all know how expensive the grocery store is these days. So I feel like anywhere you can save a few bucks, that matters. So it doesn't have to be perfect on here. Just some bean. And you want to put, you know, a good amount of bean and cheese, because that's all that it is on here. And granted, these are not as big as the ones in the store or in the freezer section. But like I said, you can buy those big giant burrito tortillas that they sell at the store and do the same thing and make them as big as you want. So I'm just going to continue doing this and do a couple more, and then we'll get started on the beef burritos. Okay, our meat has slightly cooled. It's not totally cool, but we're just gonna roll with it. I'm just not gonna put them in the freezer just yet. I'm gonna go ahead and smear a thin layer on the bottom of this tortilla. And that way it'll be like a beef and bean and cheese burrito. There will probably be some beef left, but that's okay. My daughter can make a burrito bowl or something like that for school one day. So I got the refried beans on there. Now I'm gonna put a layer of beef, and I'm gonna do it along this 1/3 of the side of the burrito, so it'll be easier to roll up. That's a good amount. And add our cheese. Then we'll turn this thing, fold it in, and roll it up. And I've never made the chicken ones, but you know, say you have some leftover chicken that you used one night and you're like, hey, that would probably be good in a freezer burrito. Use what you have in your freezer, you know. Do something different with leftovers. Turn it into a freezer burrito. Or if you like burrito bowls, make burrito bowls. Anything to help stretch that dollar from the store to keep you from having to suffer this crazy spike in grocery prices will help any family. So use what you got. Try to use up everything whenever you have a meal and you have leftovers. Because I know my husband, for a long time, he hated leftovers. But I think the trick of it is to find a way to turn your leftovers into a totally new dish. So it doesn't feel like you're eating the same thing, something a little bit different, but yet you're not having to cook again. You're, you know, using food that's already been cooked and prepped for you, so it can make for a quicker meal also. So I'm just gonna keep working on these, and here in a few minutes, we'll be all done. So I finished rolling up all of the burritos, and now I'm just gonna mark which ones are bean and which ones are beef, and then we're gonna get them in the Ziploc bag and we're done. And this has been less than 30 minutes. So it's something super easy that you can do for your family, and it doesn't take that much time. So I'm gonna use a Sharpie and write bean on all of these. So those are the bean, and these are the beef. And there you have it, beef and bean burritos, ready for your freezer, ready for your family to enjoy. You can feel good knowing that you know exactly what you're putting into your body, what you're feeding to your family, and you're gonna save a lot of money not having to buy pre-made ones from the freezer section at your store. You can utilize leftovers or whatever you have to be able to make these burritos your own. So I hope you give it a try, and if you like it, please give it a like, and I hope you subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment down below. What is your favorite burrito flavor? I'd like to know. I hope you come back. See you soon. Bye-bye.